Good morning, everybody. We are wrapping up Chapter 5's handout, and then we'll have the Chapter 5 group work that's going to be available. I have it working on being printed. Unfortunately, the printer was out of ink this morning, so somebody is replacing that, and hopefully we'll get them in class. But it is uploaded if for some reason I don't get that all set. So we're starting on analyze a company's operating performance using asset turnover ratio. So just a few terms about inventory that I wanted to talk to you about before we go into the actual formulas, which are relatively straightforward. One is basis, and this is the cost of the inventory. So this is the same one from last class. Okay. We're almost to the last page there. And what the basis is, it's the cost that's shown on for the inventory on the financial statements. And so per GAAP, companies use the lower of cost or net realizable value, or lower of cost or market. There are 4 methods used in determining cost. And I'm just going to walk around a little bit and check where you guys are and make sure that you're having enough time to write this down if you want to. If not, you're at least able to draw pictures of me. I expect I'll be taller in your pictures. And these aren't in any particular order, but the methods are specific identification, first in, first out, and last in, first out. Sorry, weighted average. It's from the last class we're wrapping up. Yep. So for the composition of inventory, basically when they want to know the types of inventory, for example, merchandise, or for a manufacturer, raw materials, work in process, and finished goods. And then the last one that they'd have to disclose if they have inventories and significant or unusual financing arrangements. So examples include pledging of inventory as collateral. So that means you took out a loan and the inventory was the collateral. Bless you. Product financing arrangements. Non-cancelable purchase commitments. Okay, great. If I didn't put it up already. Now remember, this will be available for those of you that just came in on our site if you're a little behind. Inventory turnover measures the number of times on average a company sells its inventory during the period. Average inventory equals the beginning inventory plus ending inventory divided by 2. So inventory turnover equals the cost of goods sold divided by the average inventory. Average days to sell inventory represents the average number of days sales for which a company has on hand. Sorry, has inventory on hand. And so the average days of inventory equals 365 or 360 divided by inventory turnover. Okay, let's look at example 5. So we have to compute GAP's inventory turnover and the average days to sell inventory turnover. So inventory turnover equals your cost of goods sold divided by your average inventory. And so here, this equals my cost of goods sold of 9,789. Keep in mind that's in millions. And we're going to divide that by the average inventory. So inventory at the beginning was 1,997 plus the ending inventory 1,830, and that's divided by 2. And so that should come out with 5.12 times. Average days to sell inventory. In this case, 365 divided by inventory turnover. So this equals 365 divided by 5.12. I heard somebody say 71.3 days. Sorry, I squished those together on you guys. Any questions on number 5? Okay, let's jump to number 6. This one you guys should try. Just do the current year. I'll do the prior year. I'm gonna grab some water and check on the printer while it's working. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at the current year. So the current year, our cost of how many sessions? Inventory turnover. We have cost of goods sold, which is 5484.8. And we're going to divide that by our average inventory. So our inventory year end for prior year was 1044.1. We're going to add our current 934.2. And then we're going to divide by 2. And so we end up with 5.5 times prior year. Ending inventory becomes the beginning inventory for our current year, right? So we had beginning year minus the end of the year. Okay. And then our days to sell inventory. Equals 365 divided by 5.5. And so that's 66 days. Now for the prior year, Inventory turnover equals prior year's cost of goods sold, which is the 6234.9. We're going to divide that by the average inventory. Now, it tells us in the paragraph, the inventory at the beginning of the period was 1642.6. Plus what our current would be 1044.1. And we're going to divide that by 2. And that's going to give us 4.6 times. And then the average days to sell inventory equal 365 divided by 4.6. And then you get 79 days. So part of this now says, let's analyze this a little bit. Is our inventory turnover better this year or last year? It's better in our current year, right? We're selling 5.5 times, and we only have 66 days of inventory. Assuming those things are something we can handle with our supply chain, then that's a good thing, right? It's not because we don't have inventory, it's because we have at least 2 months of inventory, so that's fine, and we're selling it faster. Now, it does indicate, unless costs went down, we probably, or we did, in fact, sell a little bit less, right? So if I was asking you to do an analysis of these, when you measure changes, you take the current year and you subtract the prior year and you divide by the prior year. And then you multiply that number by 100 to get a percentage. So if I was going to measure the change in my year-end inventories, I would have 934.2 minus 1044.1, and then I would divide by 1044.1. So our percent change would be 10.53. Sorry, minus 10.53%. So again, if we have enough inventory to service our customers, which in case it says we have 2 months, as long as there's no supply chain issues, we're pretty good. So it's good that we were able to reduce our inventories, but it was down by 10.5%. So you would have to decide if you were the business, whether that's favorable or unfavorable. In most scenarios, this would be favorable, but it really depends on the company and how you analyze it. It becomes a little more clear when you're looking at things on the income statement, because on the income statement, it's a little bit easier. Revenues go up, they're favorable. Expenses go up, they're unfavorable, right? Okay. So calculate the changes for net sales, cost of goods sold, and net income. Okay, so what do we get for the percent change in net sales? Okay, 9.66%. Everybody get that calculation? Okay. I'm relying on you guys because this is just something I threw together just last second here to think about. Okay, what do you get for cost of goods sold? Okay. And then net income? 2.66%. It's 2.66, you said? 69? So 269%. Yeah, it can't be 2 point, right? Because 648 minus 69, yeah, 269. It comes out 2 point something, but then you have to multiply by the 100, right? So it should be 269%. Yes. Correct. So the prior year, their net income was a net loss. And what they really should have on here is it should say net income or net loss, like that, for those. And so that would tell you it's a net loss. Minus a negative, right? Correct. Right? Because a minus minus a minus is a plus. And really, when you think about it, you're just going from two different sides of zero, right? Minus, what's it, 665, and then plus 648. So really, you have to add those two, 665 and 648, and that gives you the new change. What's that? 1,3. Right? And then you would divide this by the 665.
The answer is actually
197.3? Okay. And so if we looked at these and we said, are these favorable or unfavorable? The first one's probably favorable, again, assuming that you can still cover your sales in those early months. So this would be favorable. Now our net sales went down. We don't like to see sales go down, right? So that's unfavorable. Our cost of goods went down, so that's favorable. And here we see our sales went down by 9.66%, but our costs went down by 12%, directly related to those sales. So we're either selling a better mix of products with lower costs, or we were able to lower our costs a little bit more beyond our sales amount. And then this would obviously be favorable because our net income went from a negative to a positive. Any questions? Okay, so that's it for chapter 5. And what I've got here is the group work. And I'm going to go and see if we got it printed yet. She just came by with the toner that we needed. But you guys can start to work on this now in class. And if you have your computer, this file is up there. And I will be right back. And this is group work. You can talk, you can ask me questions. And by the way, I went through a grade. Please, if you're not sure, this isn't a test. I'm not going to give you the answers, but I can help point you in the direction if you're not sure. And this is group in classwork, so you can work on it together.
You cannot do this. Remember, this group of differing together. Next question, yeah. Yes. That's dollars.
Oh, like that there, okay.
That's just the dollar change, so all you're doing is taking year two and subtracting year one. It's just that it made it a two-step process for you. These other handouts are practice questions. They're right there. It should be coming out. Yes. The formula still applies, it just, I put a space there so you have an extra step. You had a question for me?
Oh, yeah, for the dollar changes, it just this subtracted by this?
Yep.
Okay, that's
This is just supposed to be 49,000, not 49,100.
Make a note. There's two, Hannah. Each you guys there.
Oh,
These are just some practice questions, one each. One for each of you there. Each of you. One for each of you in there.
Thank you.
You're welcome. One for you. And one for you.
thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm gonna go ahead and hello. Go ahead and stop the recording here. Thank you for attending today's class, and we're just gonna be working on the group project for the rest of class for chapter 5 that's due on Thursday.